Gang, y'all
Definitely did.
definitely gotta, you know what I mean? Listen to that back. She dropped some gems on
Yep.
y'all.
Now we're gonna got one more person we're gonna let up. We're gonna end this.
What's going on? What's going on,
What's
brothers?
going on? What's going on,
What,
brother?
man? Welcome.
Welcome.
You see, I heard one more person, and I was like, it's either gonna be me or someone else. And if it's me, it is what it is. uh,
No.
What you
so how
got
are
for
y'all?
us? We good. How about yourself?
That's good. That's good to hear, and I'm good. Thank you for asking.
All right.
I just tapped in randomly. I've never seen y'all channel ever. And I had seen the topic. I was like, well, it calls out to me, so I'm just tap in. So I decided to. Uh, for about maybe 30-40 minutes, I've been listening to y'all stream,
Hmm.
and it it in other words relates to me, and it definitely like I'm sorry. I'm just a little anxious because I'm not really I'm not used to like speaking. Like,
No,
That's
it's
all right.
okay.
Take
Take your
your time.
time.
appreciate that, brothers. Appreciate that. But yes, on the topic of basically Dwayne Wade and his son and his family, what goes on, in Hollywood and or Holly Weirds, better said. Uh, yeah, no, definitely. I agree with the definitely something is going on. I seen a lot of comments saying something's up in the water, something's in the water. I agree with that 100%. I had
Hmm.
definitely done some research on that and had come to a conclusion that definitely something is in the water. There's some scientists, and the scientist's name is basically Tyrone Hayes. It was something that the last person that was in the stream, the elder lady, she was
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
she had mentioned basically the water and the scientists, but yeah, his name is Tyrone Hayes, and he literally got shadow banned, and originally he got hired by a very big company, which is the company's name is Syngenta.
Hmm.
Yes. So if you ever heard of like Monsanto, and
Yep.
yep,
Yeah, they own that company. That's a sister
Yep.
company.
yes
Hmm.
sir, yes sir. So he was basically hired by them, and over time while working with them, he was oversought, and they didn't want him to do his own research, but stick within like specific lines, so that when the research came back and the results came back to the conclusion of like whatever they wanted the conclusions to be, because they set it up to be in a certain way. So his research was basically like, yes, seeing what happens when you introduce certain specific chemicals into the water, and what did ended up happening was gay frogs, or homosexual frogs, and it's a very big thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it
Yep.
causes people to think, hey, like you're testing on a living creature, who like in other words resemble us. They have same counterparts just as us, eyes, ears, etc., etc. So those things right there are red flags. If they're sitting there and reproducing with like the same sex and sitting out here and literally what do you call it, they're regenerating the counter sex parts.
Yep.
So like that's not normal. That's definitely a red flag,
Mhm.
And so getting into that, like there's definitely a something, and this man ended up getting shadow banned. So, so I wrote a couple things just to talk about really quickly. I don't want to take up much of your time, like I know time is very precious.
Mhm.
But yes, I wanted to mention a couple things because there could be a couple ears listening for sure. I am about truth. I am about,
Absolutely. Speaking true. Yep.
yes,
Let's hear
sir.
it.
Yes, sir. And definitely, just like the last lady said, those who have ears to hear, they will hear the message. Some people, when you speak the message, they'll literally turn you down. You the crazy one, or you talking some nonsense. But then there'll be the others with those special ears, you could say, the special eyes that could see exactly what you're saying and
Yep.
relate to it. And it's like, wow, you know what? I actually see it. I've never saw it that way, but I actually see it, and they accept it. And and some people may see that those are the children of of God, or those are the sheep of God, because ultimately, like without digressing too much, like there is a God, there is a creator, whether
Absolutely.
people, definitely want to admit it or not, there's definitely a creator. Has it been perversed? Of course, like, well, it's what I would like to call, the Catholic Church, and different perversions of what the creator originally was, and what the Messiah is, like
Mhm.
there's the false and there's the real. There's the Antichrist and then there's the real Messiah. The real Messiah came and he went and he left his message. And the message still remains the same. Has it been perverse? 100%. But that's basically just one of the topics I want to touch into. But like mainly specifically, I wanted to ask you guys about, like, y'all pretty sure, like, because I've never seen y'all channel. I don't know what y'all know, but just to get an idea of what y'all know, have y'all heard of chemtrails?
Yep.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Have
Yep.
y'all witnessed it
Yep.
yourselves?
Of
Every
course.
day. Every
Every
day.
day they
That's
out there. Yeah.
Yep.
good confirmation. Good confirmations. Well, so like I personally, without speaking too much, I don't like to be on the radar, but without speaking too much, I do a lot of research, and I do personal research when it comes to I'm basically a photographer, and I take a lot of pictures of planes and plane activity, and I have a lot of footage that it would bring a lot of light to to the community, or to that truth community, when
Yeah.
it comes to chemtrails. But
Absolutely.
like I'm a very anxious person when it comes to like spreading the truth, because like my mind moves way faster than my mouth does, and like I just need to take my time with things. But like I have a hard time speaking to people because I think too much. But like overall, like my research has led me to realize that there's something called nanotech, if y'all have heard of that.
Yep.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
So
Yep.
chemtrails would lie under that subject. So uh, uh I'm out of curiosity, if y'all don't mind me asking, how old are y'all?
Yeah. Yeah. We middle age.
Middle
Mhm.
age?
We from yep. Late 30s, 40s.
Mhm.
Okay. So y'all remember the beeper then?
Mhm.
Absolutely. Yep.
All right, all right. So y'all seen technology go from the point in time, just using phone as a comparison, right? We've seen
Yep.
phones go from you had to go to a telephone booth or to a
Yep.
specific place to get in
Absolutely.
contact with somebody, and then the beeper came out to complement that, like
Yep.
somebody calling you, go to a payphone, all right, dial them up, cool, cool, cool. So then that moved on to the real big phones, if y'all remember the big bricks.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
Exactly.
yep, yep. And then from that, the original purpose for the telephone was to communicate from one to another, and that in itself was an agenda from the get go, and now it's definitely revealed itself, and
Hmm.
What's up, family?
in accordance with nature, but they ain't even following that.
No.
A
So
lot of people
not
keep
at
that
all.
part
Not
out.
at all. I
A lot of
agree.
people keep that part out of the guide stones. The guide stones actually say with accordance to nature. So, but they denature and everything with all this genetically modified
Yes. And
everything. So
correct. So yes, pretty
Yeah,
much
he's on
what
point. Brother came through with something powerful for y'all, man.
yeah, this
Came
digital
through.
age. Yeah, we've talked
Came
about that
through.
before on this channel with the whole blockchain and crypto, how they
Yep.
hooking everything up to that.
Mhm.
And they're going to
correct.
have everything, including your vitals, hooked up to that, your medical records, everything.
Correct.
Yeah.
So
And it's literally in alliance or it's literally in compliance with what the Bible or what the scripture is literally saying, that they will literally be able to control what you buy and sell, okay, with this mark. And it goes
shit,
back
they
to
already doing that now.
literally
Yeah.
exactly
Like, what's your
just
choice?
that.
Your choice is between Pepsi and Coca-Cola. They controlling what the fuck you buying. Look,
My
they
brother.
had the shortage on toilet paper and people couldn't even wipe their asses.
Nope.
Like,
Dead ass.
I mean, like
Yo, dead
it's
ass.
already happening. That's the thing. A lot of us don't realize we're already there, 100%.
Real
It's just
shit.
that they just upgrading it. They just
Yes, they're
simply
just setting the
clicking
stage. Exactly,
upgrade.
just that. Exactly.
Yeah.
So like without getting just too deep into it, like scripture is very real. It's just very perverted or very perverse or changed. There's a lot of things missing from the Bible. The Bible is compiled of many books, and there's a lot of books missing out of it. There's a lot of things changed. And it
Absolutely.
goes back down to like language and how language has literally been changed over and over. Like in Babylon, the goal of Babylon was to have one religion and one language, and they literally accomplished that. So what you have today, right, when you do research, just a little research, with the little New World Order stuff, you literally have them literally trying to accomplish one thing: one religion, one language, one everything. And there's a perfect place for that, right? Which is America. That's why I think America is a very specific, special made place for specifically us, the children of God, the 12 tribes specifically, right? The 12 tribes had dispersed all over the world. But little did you know, you have a specific place where everyone can come, right, to be free. And in this specific place, you have one specific universal language that everyone speaks, which is English, right? So I had heard a little while in my awakening that language is very powerful because the tongue, right, is a gift that God gave us. No other animal has this gift. The tongue is very mighty powerful because we can speak things into existence. So I had basically learned from another brother on YouTube. He was speaking about how basically words are specifically constructed differently in English, but constructed in a way to curse ourselves. So like like spelling, like spelling. English is known to have one word meaning multiple meanings.
Yeah, like good morning.
Good morning, exactly. What else could good morning mean apart from wishing someone exactly, mourning the death of somebody, exactly. A good morning, exactly. Same thing with the week, and the weekend. Throughout the week, you work hard at your job, which job in Hebrew means persecution. You're persecuted at your 9 to 5.
They got a whole
Monday
book
through
called
Friday.
Job.
Yup.
Spelled like job, and he's just basically enduring a whole bunch of suffering.
Yup.
These jobs are just a whole bunch of
from
goddamn
Monday
suffering.
through Friday, you're literally persecuted at your 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So you work through the week, and at the end, your weekend. Like, what else could that really mean? A brother that's awakened would realize, yo, you're literally speaking some real shit. You're speaking some real light to darkness that we don't understand because they just indoctrinated us. We were born into it,
Exactly.
We were literally just born into it. But with being born into it, you have to understand if you were chosen, because I believe that there are many people who are chosen to either for the specific roles like seeing. There's people who I call seers. They have the gift of seeing. They can see things that others cannot. And then there's other brothers and sisters that have the gift of tongue. They can speak to people. And there's brothers out here that are literally convinced a lot of brothers out here to go kill somebody or to do something great because they have the gift of the tongue, because they're gifted that. So I believe there's a lot of people who are gifted in different settings, you know, and I believe that there's definitely reason to everything. There's nothing that exists without reason. Everything has a purpose. Whether, you know, like we as the human, you know, we understand our purpose or not, you know, we have purpose. You know, a bee, you don't have to tell a bee to be a bee or to collect honey or to do anything. It just does what it does because it's programmed to do exactly. It has a purpose. A flower has a purpose. Everything has a purpose. The only thing that seems like we have no purpose is us, because they left us with little knowledge. They left us with nothing, literally almost nothing. Literal, what you could call breadcrumbs type things, you know, where eventually a brother and a sister literally got together and like, yo, you know, some shit is going on, like some real dark shit's going on. And we're not in the know. We are not in this little secret club where they're telling everyone the truth. We're not.
Absolutely.
So that's why y'all are out here. I believe that y'all are out here specifically so y'all could let people like myself, people like yourself, to speak y'all truth. Not y'all truth, but the truth. The truth of the darkness.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
Well,
yes, sir.
I believe our purpose is we really supposed to guard this place and just keep it, you know, like we supposed to be keepers of a garden. Like this place was originally
100%.
a garden. Like,
100%.
That's what we supposed to be, keepers of it. We supposed to be, you know, observing, learning, and actually supposed to be here having a good time. But that's been ruined. That's been ruined by the people who trying to control us through everything. So this place was originally like a resort.
It was
originally like a resort, but
and then
we know how to F things up, don't we?
I wouldn't say it was specifically us or specifically the story of Adam and Eve, but like when you get into it, whether like I'm not sure if y'all know or like whether y'all will find out or y'all will believe this, but within my research, I found out, because like I like to connect everything within like within the confines of reality. Well, what can I compare to real life? You know, what can I see with real life or with my eyes? You know. Within my research, I had come to find out, you know, that, you know, within the story of Lucifer, you know, the light bearer, when he had fallen because he had basically rebelled against God and he convinced other angels to do so. The purpose, the singular purpose of angels were to be God's hands, workers. You know, the physical movement of God to do, like, so if God says something, they move and do something. So here come little humans, you know, with no form, no knowledge, no nothing. And God had commanded these angelic beings like Lucifer, you know, and so on to bow down to us. And he didn't like that at all. Because when you go into the story of Lucifer, he was one of God's beautiful angels, not just beautiful, but most beloved. That man was bathed in rubies. He was pimped out he was decked out to the nines. Okay. And I believe within my research, right, that this man he became full of himself, that when he was commanded to basically bow down to humans, he was not having that. Like, it's the equivalent of a grown-ass man saying, yeah, you have to listen to that baby, which that baby has no knowledge, no nothing, no form, no literally nothing. So when Lucifer was cast down, what I believe was that when he was cast down, the angels, the earth itself was tainted. So everything within the earth was mutated. So like you said, the earth was a resort, the earth was a paradise, but it then didn't become a paradise because Lucifer fell like lightning, causing the earth to basically become fallen, in a fallen state, you could say, right? That's where we get the term of basically like evil. Like, why are people evil? Why are things evil? So on and so forth. So I genuinely believe that that's where because in real life you have mosquitoes, right? Which the purpose of them is literally to suck blood, and that's it. No, nothing else. They're literally a disturbance. They suck blood. When you realize what blood is, which is a life force, which is something a pure energy, you could say it relates literally to pure energy. It gives us life. And you have this insect thing that which I believe has no soul, comes to suck your blood just so it can procreate and make some more. Yeah, nah, son, there's something wrong about that. There's something
That's
definitely wrong.
Let me ask you a question. So, what's the difference between us and Lucifer? Because we fell from a high state too.
So when like I take it like with a grain of salt when the Bible says specifically that we were born into sin. This flesh that we are, this host body system, because we are not this body. We are just inhabitants. We are watchers. We like that. That's why they say that the eyes are the windows to the soul. We are just watchers who make decisions, right? So I believe what this world is, right? This is just my personal opinion. If anyone else comes to this conclusion, including y'all, like that's great. But my conclusion is that what this reality is a test. It's a test that when Lucifer fell, he tainted the earth, and that when we're born into this reality, we are tainted along with that too. We become into this fallen nature. This body is a fallen nature. It also goes into the story of Adam and Eve, rebelling. How basically Eve was deceived by the snake. And the only way that Eve could, or the snake could get Adam to basically take a bite of the apple, it was to basically deceive the woman, because the men are attracted to women. The snake couldn't deceive Adam by like just like talking to him and say, "Hey, just eat the apple," because he was obedience of God. So the only way he could get to Adam was by convincing the woman to eat the apple, so that.
So was it an actual apple, or do you think it was just
No.
allegory?
I don't think it's definitely allegory.
Okay.
I don't think it was specific like fruit. No, not at all. I definitely think that,
because what my conclusion is that what it was that they partook of was the knowledge of good and evil, which created war within themselves, like duality.
correct.
And it created this whole world of duality when it was just one thing. Because you remember, at the creation story from the beginning, it was everything was good, and then when they ate from the tree of knowledge, which really means food for thought,
Correct.
changed their perception.
Yes, it gave them
made
consciousness.
them
Yes,
war between themselves.
correct.
That's why Cain ended up killing Abel, because it was duality.
Correct. They're basically the twin system.
So that denatured the
correct.
world. Exactly, the twin system. Which
Correct.
Once one became two.
Correct, and that's why you have in Freemasonry the two columns, and so on and
That's
so
what the
forth.
black and white represents. The checkerboard. Yeah.
or
So
the
it wasn't
yin and
actually
yang.
a fruit. It's an allegory. It's like it's about, because you know how people say food for the soul, food for thought.
Correct.
Like,
correct.
so if you gotta look at it, the language that's being spoken, it's a culture.
Correct.
It's a language.
Exactly. So like back then it was completely different. It wasn't like, oh, English, one word meant multiple meanings. Back then, like for example, like Hebrew, one word means one word. There's no way to like mistranslate that one word. It means that, and that's why English was created, in my opinion. It was created
to curse ourselves.
Correct.
It's a language of duality.
Correct.
Why would you say good morning? It's duality.
Correct.
Think about it. That's the whole fall is based around duality.
100%.
Good and evil. Before it wasn't no evil, it was just all good.
100%.
So when evil came to play, it created a war. That's when it said the war broke out in heaven. That's between good and evil. That's why it said, don't eat from the tree of good and evil. Don't take on this concept of that's good, that's evil, that's good, that's evil, that king is good, that king is evil. Once you do that, it creates war, because then it starts to get confusing, because then what's good and what's evil anymore? Think about it. Because some people see things as, some people's dystopia is other people's utopia. How could you get out of that cycle? Think about it.
I agree.
How could you ever get out of that cycle? What's good for somebody might be evil to someone else. You gotta think about it. Cultures was completely different. In some cultures, they allow people to marry 13-year-olds and 12-year-olds, and that was good in their culture. Some culture, and like the culture we in now, like you got the age of consent is 18 and 16 in some places.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
what's
100%. Yeah.
So yeah, so what's good and what's evil? Like what's good and what's evil? That's the war right there, and that denatured the whole entire place. At one point, they seen everything as one. There was nothing separated. It's like a whole fruit, but you realize the fruit get tainted when they start taking different chemicals out of the fruit and giving you that and saying this is medicine. This is the vitamin C from the orange, when that's not as healthy as eating the whole orange.
Yup.
And keep in mind
happened.
Keep in mind we had one eye.
Exactly. There was only one eye.
Beings then had one eye, but when we fell, it split into two.
Yep, that's why they say the third eye was actually the original one eye. We were
Which is
like
the first eye.
Cyclops. We
Which
was
is the
like
first eye.
Cyclops walking around here. But when the
Exactly.
duality came, we got two eyes, and the
Split
two
our eyes
eyes
into
started
two.
warring. The left started warring against the right.
Exactly.
The right started warring against the left. Cain
Mhm.
started warring against Abel. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
exactly.
So that's what happened. It was, and that's esoteric knowledge. This is happening within inside of us. That's why I said we became the Lucifer, the fallen, because Lucifer was just light at first. Lucifer stands for fallen light, and when he fell into a human body.
Mhm.
The
Agreed.
human body snatches the light, and it holds is like the keeper of the light.
Yes,
So
a host body
actually
system.
dimmed our light is the duality.
A host body system, and,
Yep.
and that's what I believe that the elites are basically trying to consume our light. They're trying to
Mhm.
These bodies are definitely doing it. These bodies are like leeches or
Prison
like
cells.
parasites.
yes, a
Cells.
host body system. Yeah,
Cell.
correct.
That's
Parasite.
CELL. Cell.
And
Prison
yep.
cell.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Not even a joke, brother. That's literally true.
These bodies are prison cells, man.
Because if you think about it, it is the cell body host.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't mean somebody said we wasn't Cyclops. We don't mean literal Cyclops.
Cyclops.
We're
No,
talking about,
brother.
See, that's the thing. You taking everything too literal.
Too little.
We're talking
Yep.
about everybody had one sight, which means everybody was in accordance with each
Which
other.
is the eye
they
of
seen
truth.
one thing. They
Exactly.
seen good. That was it. If you read the creation story,
Yep.
everything says this was made on that day, and he seen it was good. This was made on that day. That was seen as good. This was made on that day. This was seen as good. You didn't see evil until after they partook of the knowledge of good and evil, which created two eyes.
Correct.
Not literal eyes, but eyes seeing two different paradigms instead of one.
Mhm.
Yes, sir.
That's the point. Like people
And
saying
that's
the
the thing.
Nephilium, they don't even
Yup.
know what that is. The Nephilium, that's something different.
Oh, you talking about
Nephilium is something different.
Oh, you talking about a Nephilim?
Yeah.
Oh
Yup.
yes, and a
That's something
Nephilim.
different.
Yes,
That's a whole nother.
that's a
that's a
different
whole
story.
nother
That's a whole
race.
subject.
That's
Yup.
another whole race of people right there.
Yep,
See,
and
Adam
that-
and Eve wasn't
yup.
actually the first on the planet. They were the first chosen to be used as an example of what happens when you partake of the tree of knowledge of good and evil.
Mhm.
That's what people
I've
don't
heard of that.
understand. Earth always existed.
Yep.
In some form or another, it always existed.
But it's some things that take place off of the planet. Some beings
Exactly.
that take
Well,
place
but
off
the
of the
garden
planet, you
wasn't
know what I'm
all the
saying?
way on the planet. The
Mm-mm.
garden wasn't all the way on the planet.
It wasn't all the way on
It
there.
was in
Yep.
between two realms.
Mhm.
It was in between. It wasn't directly on Earth. Remember, they fell to Earth. The garden wasn't on Earth. It was on a place outside of Earth, like another
Exactly.
realm.
Yes, it
Mhm.
was its own little protection place.
Yeah.
It's secluded, you could say. Yeah.
And then when we were in there, we wasn't human. We were like beings of light, just moving around, consuming basically information.
Correct.
Mhm.
So
But when we consume the information of duality, that's what basically brought us down to a lower frequency.
and I agree, and that's literally kind of like what I've my research has concluded to. I believe that basically the creator was trying to teach us to be creators as well, and that's why we have something like imagination. We have like in anime, if you have heard of anime or cartoons like that, right?
Mhm.
You have these characters where they have superpowers that come out of them, right? And it comes with the will of their mind, right? So I believe that in the beginning we were supposed to we're basically on a you could say like a trial to learn how to to be creators. That's why God gave us all the tools of a creator. The only thing that he did not give us is physical powers.
Well, you gotta understand the whole creation story is the process of creation of our creation. Of how you gotta think. It says the spirit was hovering over the darkness. That's like the thought hovering over this dark subconscious mind.
Mm.
Yeah, the creation story is happening every day. We don't realize that, and it's the same thing when you the whole creation when you basically impregnating a woman and the seed travels through the dark waters of the woman's womb, and then impregnate and creates the life, and it splits just like how the cell splits, and it's like the land and then the water and then
Correct.
and everything. It's the same story being told over and over and over again.
Absolutely.
It's the same exact story. It's no different. That's what I'm saying. When your thoughts hover over your dark waters of your subconscious mind, which represents your brain, and that light creates life. That's how you create. When you get a brilliant thought, and that light travels through the darkness, and it lights up your mind, like how they say a light bulb, and then that's how you create. That's the same story. It's the same exact. It's just being told over and over again. It's literally on a loop. When you read the Bible, it's literally telling the same story over and over again, just from different perspectives, different cultures, different mindsets, but it's the same characters, just under different scenarios, and it's the same exact story.
Yep.
All of it is the same exact story.
And to realize all those people is you.
All them people is you.
That exists within inside you. It's nothing
Because you gotta
outside of
think
you.
about it. The whole planet Earth, everybody on here have some type of trait from the characters in those Bibles. How is that so? You can say, oh, that person's Job. Oh, that person's this person. This person's like Jeremiah. Like, why could we do that? Because these stories is only created out of our mind, because we're all the mind of God. All of us is from the mind of God.
Agreed.
Yeah, it's that's why I said what makes us different than Lucifer. He fell to earth and we fell to earth. He disobeyed, we disobeyed. What's the difference? What makes us different?
So out of curiosity, right? Touching on that topic, what do you guys think, if y'all have come across this? What do you guys think about? I'm gonna just say one word, and if y'all take it and y'all respond to it, I'll see. You know, like, what do you guys think about Saturn?
Saturn?
Yes, sir.
Like, as far as what? As a planet, or
as a planet, and what it means
as an energy?
Symbolically.
What, like Satan, Saturn, Saturday? You mean it's like on?
I've heard of that too. But yes, like any like actual like what they say lore, any lore to Saturn. If you guys have heard of lore of Saturn, apart from like the wordplay.
I don't know. Explain it to us, because I'm always willing to learn. I don't know everything. What is it about Saturn that?
So across my research, I had come basically to I got you. One quick second. So when I was basically searching Saturn, and there's a lot of what you could say, there's a lot of details about like the physical planet, and not just the physical planet, but like the symbology behind Saturn when it comes to scripture, and when it comes to like not just like biblical scripture, but like like scripture in general. There's a lot of details, like the ring of Saturn, right? Y'all have seen like the depictions of basically like a lot of the prophets, like Jesus, the white depiction of Jesus in Catholicism. How basically all of them have a halo over them. A halo meaning like a ring. So basically my research led me down this rabbit hole where on the planet itself, there's like, how NASA like gives y'all like pictures, like CGI pictures of like what the planet looks like, So in one of these pictures, there's basically like in the middle of the planet, or at the very top, at the very top in the middle, there's a hexagon, right? So I don't know if y'all are really into like geometry and like sacred geometry.
Okay. A
So
little
like,
bit. I'm a little bit versed in that.
okay. So like a lot of my research is based on like sacred geometry and basically signs and symbols and
Mhm.
numbers as well. Because like like it's always called my eye or caught my eye, you could say. So basically these halos, right, around like the depictions of the prophets and Jesus and whatnot, but like the it's only the depiction that Catholicism gives, right, and specific other cultures, they always put a ring over their head, right? So when I got into it, it led me into like basically the little the hexagon on Saturn. So when I got into it, have you ever heard of a game called Doom?
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Well, basically Doom takes place in Mars. And what the gist of this the lore of it, right, is that humans wanted to basically go to Mars. They went to Mars and they found a lot of murals, a lot of technology. And a lot of this technology and murals, they had a lot of sacred geometry engraved in it. So they had basically found a suit which is called the Praetor, like Predator,
Mhm.
the Predator suit, which is basically where the main character he gets in the Praetor suit and he kills a bunch of demons or whatnot in this game. But there's a lot of like sacred geometry. So like how like they the elites or the people that allow like a lot of the propaganda to get into like media.
Mhm.
So like most of the propaganda usually has a lot of symbology. Most of the symbology is usually like pentagrams, pentagons, hexagrams, hexagons, etc., etc. So when I got into the Saturn and the Saturn's hexagon, right? If you can literally Google search it, basically it led me to basically what do you call it? The Muslims believe in no, I'm sorry, the Bible, the what is the Muslim Bible called again?
You
Quran.
talk Quran.
The Quran. Well,
Mhm.
basically within the Quran,
Yeah.
right? Or not, I mean within the Quran, but like in the physical, do you know where Mecca is?
Yeah.
So basically in Mecca, there's the like the actual cube that basically the people go to visit, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So like the cube getting into
Talking
the
about like Metatron cube and all that. Okay.
yes. So that is basically connected to like Saturn and Saturn's ring and like basically story and lore behind that. And that's what it led me to. And I was just wondering if y'all brothers knew about that.
Well, a lot of that sacred geometry is basically displaying a prison that's around us.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
All the numbers and all that. That's what the matrix is. We're literally
Agreed.
encoded inside of these sacred geometry patterns. Our
Agreed.
soul was actually trapped inside of these patterns. That's
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
that's why our lives
Yep.
is,
The
is
host
like a
body
loop.
system. Yep. That's what
That's
you were
why our
saying. Basically,
lives
the light
is
is
like a
trapped in the
loop.
host body system. Yep.
Exactly. When our vibration slowed down, we were trapped inside these time loops that's trapped inside of sacred geometry in accordance with the Fibonacci sequence also.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Correct. I've heard of that. I've heard of that.
That's like that's literally the scientific way of breaking down our spiritual prisons.
Yo, make sure y'all subscribe to that Night and Day Metaphysics channel. That's where we're gonna continue the higher conscious talk. It's on that Night and Day Metaphysics channel. It's pinned to the top. Make sure y'all subscribe to that channel. Talk Media channel, we're gonna be talking about government conspiracies and shit like that. The government talk and all. But the Metaphysics channel is where we're gonna talk about the higher knowledge. Night and Day Network is where we're gonna talk about celebrity gossip shit. So we got 3 channels. Night and Day Talk Media for the government shit and all the truth behind this, truth behind that. Metaphysics channel for the higher consciousness talk, and Night and Day Network channel, the main channel, is for celebrity gossip shit. So, yeah, I'm saying I'm gonna end it here. So make sure y'all subscribe to all three of our channels. The link is pinned to the top. You know what I'm saying? Night and Day Talk Metaphysics channel is pinned to the top. So that's what we doing. We're gonna keep rocking out. All right, we probably go live later on Night and Day Network because we missed last night. Niggas was too tired to go live last night. So we gonna be going live tonight on Night and Day Network channel. So all right, y'all. Peace.